Hi, I'm Kushan Mitra and I'm here with Rohan Verma, CEO and Executive Director of MapMyIndia. We've had a great conversation. We are in the experience room of MapMyIndia where they're showing some of the amazing things they do with their map software. Rohan, as a car guy, what can a driver expect? I mean, nowadays it's fascinating as we just discussed. Uh, I don't know what I'd do without maps.
Sure. Thanks a lot for having me. And yeah, it's a super exciting time to be, I would say, a car driver, car passenger, a car OEM, and just a car aficionado. We are working with almost all the OEMs, whether in the four-wheeler space, be it Maruti, Hyundai, MG, Tata, Mahindra, the BMWs, or on the two-wheeler side with people like Suzuki, two-wheelers, TVS, Bajaj, Ola. You name it, we are working with them. But what's exciting for us is the amount of new solutions they can offer using maps to consumers, which will make the ride of consumers safer, connected, more efficient. So to give you an example, and consumers can try all this out just using the Mapples app. Um, when you're driving, especially when you're coming up to a flyover, we'll give you a 3D junction view so that you know whether to climb the flyover or go down the flyover. Or we'll tell you what the speed limit of the current road is, what your speed is, and we'll give you an alert if you're overspeeding. Or we'll tell you when a speed camera or traffic monitoring area is ahead or a sharp curve. If you're driving an EV, we'll tell you not just where the nearest charge station is, but also in which direction you're going, how far you can reach with your battery staying. Without you losing battery. What we call battery efficient routes or reducing your range anxiety. So there's all sorts of features. If you're driving in a poor way, we'll give you driver coaching around, that you drove harshly, accelerated here, cornered here, oversped here. So, and finally, like if you're driving out of town, we tell you the trip cost, the toll fee. So all round kind of information that makes your navigation experience far better. And what OEMs are able to do, which is so exciting, is they're able to deeply integrate maps, navigation, or what we call this N-case technology into the car so that you can see it on the infotainment screen without having to worry about phones. You can see it on the cluster in front of your steering wheel, or on the two-wheeler on your cluster, and even in the HUD heads-up display. So that's what's exciting. What's happening with OEMs?
We were also talking about some of your other usage with your APIs. You said CoWIN was used, MapMyIndia APIs. You're using it in defense. You're using it in retail. So map data, of course, we kind of conflate it with maps, while we are driving today. But it's much more than just. So MapMyIndia is much more than just helping me find my way home.
That's absolutely right. I guess the power of maps and the relevance of maps in so many more use cases and domains beyond consumer navigation is where enterprises, especially whether on the government side or on the corporate side or on the tech side, are able to use for citizens or consumers' benefits. So, for example, as we were talking, an enterprise wants to open a retail site. Now, where do they open that retail site? Whether for their apparel store or their jewelry shop, or could be for a food quick service restaurant. All sorts of geodemographics we can provide to them. For We can scan and tell them across India, these are the particular sites which have no competitors nearby, but would be ideal for their target audience. So, what could be the demand generators? Like, supposing it's a jewelry store, which are the high-end residential or markets where affluent people shop, where high footfalls are, where parking is convenient, all of those kind of information which they can query, and basis that shortlist set of sites, even how that site looks like in VR, they can virtually kind of experience that or travel there, and finally come to the decision that these are the key sites I should try to go after, and then negotiate with the property owner and then take a data driven decision.
So, and give me an idea. Of course, I'm seeing in the experience room a lot of startups are using Mapples and MapMyIndia software to be precise. Um, how does it make sense to so many startups? Particularly, I can see a lot of fintech and edtech startups use MapMyIndia software. How are they using it? Can you give us some examples whether you can talk about them?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like simple things. If you are looking to get precise information where to deliver goods to, historically people have been putting these address forms, where you type in the full address. It's a dumb form, meaning you have to completely type it as a consumer, and then at the back end somebody tries to figure out what is the exact location, and do I navigate to that from the front or the back or whatever. And so you have the series of calls that happen from delivery boys, and even allocation of that address to which hub. All of that can become a big pain. So a lot of companies are using us because we have precise doorstep level information, accurate information about house addresses. So that's one kind of use case. Or just a very different use case is somebody like Alexa, a voice service, where you can ask Alexa hyperlocal queries now, like where is the nearest hospital, how far is the airport, and she'll answer according to MapMyIndia. The nearest hospital is this, and the airport is so many kilometers away from you. So just making information accessible. Um, on the fintech side, they are able to show you nearby stores where that type of payment is accepted, or when they're onboarding you, the eKYC with location verification makes life easier for that NBFC or fintech to really know the customer, so that in case of a default or to do risk assessment, they can use it. So many use cases for consumer tech or enterprise tech, where because of the precision and capability of MapMyIndia's APIs, they are choosing to work with us.
So, give me an idea as well why MapMyIndia is important for Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is what's exciting, and we've always said that MapIndia has always been at the cutting edge of maps and location based technology since 1995 when we were found. We are always at the cutting edge. Today, we are not just doing 2D maps, but we're doing three-dimensional, high definition, 360-degree based maps, and updating in near real time using our IoT sensors, AI, analytics, to create what we call 4D. Updating in near real time 4D maps. We're using drones now to capture data and create 3D information. We are creating metaverse ready or metaverse like real world maps, which you can experience in VR goggles, AR goggles, or mixed reality goggles, or even on the phone or desktops. This kind of information, I believe, is at the cutting edge of not just India, but also cutting edge of the world. So I think this is maps are such a core capability for any country. Its geospatial is of strategic importance to a country, and if and digital products and digital platforms are also strategic importance to any country, because you don't want a product or a platform necessarily controlled outside the country, which even from a de-risking of supply chain we are talking about these days, in case a war happens and that service is switched off, or what makes you competitive as a country is your products and your platforms. And so MapMindia has always stood for indigenously built digital products and platforms which are world class. I mean, we are competing on merit. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to survive the large global giants that we are able to effectively compete with and give alternatives to consumers. So Atmanirbhar Bharat is something that that we hold close to our heart, and I think through the innovations that we are doing, we're enabling our customers, we're enabling consumers, and we're also enabling the country to have very high-end technology which is locally built today for India, but eventually also to be the technology provider for the world.
Thank you so much for your time, Rohan. Really appreciate it.